cool. So I guess next up, we're gonna do Alona, and Alona is a range support, and I guess you could argue that she is like the only actual support in the game.
That's fair.
Right? Because she's like the only technical healer?
Yeah, that is correct. Out of the cast so far of the 8 warriors in the alpha today, she is still the only healer in a sense that she is the main support.
Cool. Okay, well, I guess first things first, let's just like do a quick overview of her abilities and her destructibles. Look, she has 2 difficulty, so she's a little bit in the middle there, but go ahead and give me a quick rundown.
So as you see there, she has a 2-star difficulty. A lot of her primary attacks are all skill shots, meaning you have to have the reticle on either the opponent or your ally, which is really interesting. I'll get into that in a minute. And they actually have to hit. It's a very decent range projectile. A little slow moving, but it's still a very noticeable projectile.
Okay.
When it hits the opponent, as it should, it's going to do damage.
Sure.
If it hits your teammate, it's going to heal them.
Oh, it does both?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So skill shots are a must for this character in the line of fire. She's a very squishy character, so she has to stay in the back line and do the healing. And then going into her defensive ability, I think it's one of the best ones in the game. Sun's Grace, a quick short-range teleport. Alona is completely invulnerable during the duration of that. That is your right click. It's actually pretty far.
Yeah?
Short range is an understatement. It's a lot further than when you hold the relic and use the secondary attack.
Really?
It's significantly further.
Guess we'll have to take a look at that when we jump into the game.
And it's super fast too.
And then we got Radiance coming up next. So that's to target a nearby enemy and heal them over time while they're within range. Is that like a channeling?
Yeah. So what happens is you activate Radiance, which is your Q. Beam of green light goes towards whoever ally you target.
Okay.
And it heals them over time. Very decent amount of healing done. And it also scales with your attack damage.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you can
so
like
more
stack
attack damage.
and
Yeah,
heal
more attack damage you have, because there's no difference between like AD and like magic damage or anything like that.
Right.
So it's strictly going to be attack damage, keeping it really basic. It scales along with attack damage, so it's something you might want to consider when building Alona.
Got it. And next up we got Sunburst, an explosion of energy which damages and knocks back any opponent within range.
Now, with the range with Sunburst, it's relatively small. It's literally right in front of her or around her. So when you activate that E, it knocks everybody back within that radius. So it's really good to
disengage.
Absolutely. Disengage team skirmishes. You could use Sun's Grace to kind of infiltrate the back line or infiltrate the fight right in there. Sun's Burst to get out and then heal everybody. That's something you can do as Alona. Going into that, we're going to talk about her ultimate, which is Blessing of the Sun. It's a powerful AoE, which affects all the teammates within range, including yourself, and it does a ton of healing.
Really?
So that could be done as well. You could Sun's Grace in, which is your secondary ability, the teleport, to heal and disengage. So one of the things you need to know about Alona is that being the squishy character she is, she needs to really pick and choose when she wants to take those assertive actions and teleport and heal the team.
Got it. Okay. And then she has her 2 destructibles. First one, which is Sun Shrine. It's a defensive buildable which heals nearby teammates over time.
Yeah, so a Sun Shrine, in this game, the only way for you to heal other than having an Alona is going back to your base. And we saw from numerous games, it takes quite a while.
Slow.
It's mad slow.
Yeah.
So what this does, it's Sun Shrine, it kind of builds like a portable base for you.
Okay.
In a sense that it heals your characters over time at the same speed, but you don't have to necessarily go to the base.
All right.
So that's something you could use in team skirmishes. You could have it at your base to double the healing, or cut the healing time in half, essentially. Or you could use it as an offensive tool where you're trying to set up camp in front of your opponent's base. You're in a skirmish and you don't want to heal, go back there to heal. Set that bad boy up and just fight around that. So that could also work. Her second buildable is Light of Judgment. Powerful mirror which targets the nearest enemy and deals damage which scales up over time. As it says there, it's pretty straightforward. Pretty good damage, I gotta say. And it tracks. It's not like a set beam of light or an area effect. It tracks down the opponents, and over time, if they're carrying the relic, they're gonna take damage. They still get to hold on to it, but if they get damaged for about 3 seconds or more, then they get rid of the relic.
Got it. Okay. And so let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of her perks here. We have her first level 2 one, which is Touched by the Light. Self-heal for 40% of the healing done with Radiance. So that seems pretty strong, because that's like her 6-second cooldown channeling heal, correct?
Right.
So basically, she can just target anyone she wants with that, and at the same time, she's healing herself for 40% of that, right?
Yeah, very straightforward, and it keeps her alive in any type of skirmish. Just having that Q available while also potentially building cooldown reduction. You can consistently heal your team and keep them in the fight.
All right, next up we got healing tax. 20% of all healing done is returned as gold.
That is kind of broken.
Yeah?
Just to think about it, gold is the essential way of leveling up each and every warrior. There's no leveling system. So just having that, the amount of healing done in a game could be, you know, saving your team as well as improving your character a lot faster than the rest of the team. Right. So you get back in there faster, do even more healing. As the strategy I mentioned earlier with the Sun's Grace, teleporting in, getting that ultimate off, you're gonna get a ton of gold back.
That's true.
So, something to keep in mind.
Next up we got
Pious Protection.
Pious Protection. 12 points of bonus armor given for each teammate healed by Blessing of Stun for 10 seconds.
That's kind of nuts also.
That's a lot of armor.
I like her
even if
perks.
you only hit like 3 people, that's like 36 armor.
Yeah.
That's a lot of armor.
And it's not something that's a rare occurrence either.
Right.
That happens a lot in this game. As a lot of teams like to get into team skirmishes, and Alona just likes to pop in and Blessing of the Sun everybody. It has a very wide AoE, so having that extra damage or extra armor keeps her in the fray longer with less fear of getting decimated, being the squishy warrior that she is.
And to finish it up, we have a Speed of Light, which is a bonus 2 movements. Wait, what? Bonus 2
I don't know, man.
movement speed? Is that what that says?
No,
I don't know what MS stands for in this game.
I actually don't either. I don't know what increment of measurement they have there.
Anyway.
It's a significant amount of movement speed.
Movement speed after hitting an opponent with Sunburst.
Yeah. So again, Sunburst is the skill that knocks back your opponents in terms of trying to escape, right? That's something that you kind of want to take advantage of, having that extra movement speed.
It gives her a little bit more of a defensive feel. Like you can hit and get out at the same time, right? So like you only want to use Sunburst in like last scenario just to run out and go back and heal.
And what's funny is she actually has decent movement speed out the gate, so that's something to keep in mind. She's relatively fast in comparison to the rest of the warriors in the cast. So again, very straightforward character. Difficulty 2 stars. You got to land those AOE's. You got to land those primary attacks. You got to get in the right area for the Blessing of the Sun. And the Radiance is pretty much auto target. It's a very, very straightforward character.
All right, well, let's get into the game and kind of see how it goes.
She doesn't have too many tricks up her sleeve, but let's go into what I would build first. I would go for cooldown reduction the majority of the time.
Really? Okay. So you start with cooldown reduction just so she can heal more often, obviously. Then you want to stack attack so that her heals do more. And then next up is movement speed. Obviously, she can get in and out quicker.
So this one's a tough one for the fourth one. Depending on how your team's doing in terms of like offense and skirmishes, you either want to go for the bonus gold, but personally I would go for Midas Touch, extra gold per minute, because you get to award all the gold back to your teammates. You're not necessarily doing any of the killing or the assists, but again, it depends. I would go for the Midas Touch, or the Philosopher's Stone, actually, they changed it up, excuse me. Philosopher's Stone. So again, we're sliding down, getting into the fray.
Okay.
That's what her projectile looks like.
Well, that's not a bad range either.
Primary attack, it goes pretty far.
Decent damage too.
Yeah. Considering, all things considered, the equipment, she does get a decent amount of damage. So, you know, we're going to compare it to Anne Bonny, who has 85 primary attack with maxed out attack damage, not considering armor shred or armor pen. So that's pretty decent amount of damage and good range, especially. Also works well on teammates, or should. I guess they.
Yeah, see it. He's full health, right?
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. If he didn't have full health, it would go through. But
okay, and then, so basically, I guess the main thing for her is where to put her destructibles, right? Like that's other than that, is her entire kit's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So you see here the Sun Shrine.
Oh wow.
That wide AOE. That's where it's gonna hit. Where it's outlined. It's gonna heal this bad boy.
All right, so with these kind of things, obviously you don't want to just leave it in the open, right?
You definitely don't. And you can, to kind of distract the enemy team, as with most buildables that the rest of the warriors have. You can put it down there, and they either have to go for you or the buildable.
They can do both, yeah?
Yeah. And one thing to mention is that if you get hit while putting a buildable down, it automatically gets destroyed. Okay. So there has to be like a certain amount of time that the buildable is out there in order for it to stay with like full health. And then our second one, the mirror. Look at it burn.
So it starts off doing very little damage, but then it's the longer it's on you, it just starts picking up like crazy, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it stays out for a while. So
that's something you could put like up next to like one of the buffs and like use it to defend you while you're trying to like take.
exactly. Yeah.
Like,
It stays out there for a long time. You can put it at your base for a while. But the thing is, if
it doesn't knock the ball, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it does over time, like after 3 seconds or so.
Okay.
Like roughly,
but-
it's 3 long seconds.
Yeah.
Right? But also, you saw how long it takes for it to get destroyed by itself. If it's targeting or if it's like active for a while, it ends up getting destroyed.
Okay.
So that's one of the downsides of having that mirror. So we'll check it out again. It's gonna go destroy Spartacus a little bit. Gonna burn him. But yeah, the damage is significantly increased over time, but eventually it destroys itself. Wow, it goes for the whole thing. That's cool. And then, boop. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
It's still going.
Oh man, that mirror.
You saw the difference though, right? Like earlier from
Yeah,
the
right.
first Spartacus, when it died at like this much health, it destroyed itself.
Yeah.
So eventually it does destroy itself. It's kind of weird. It's kind of iffy. It doesn't feel like leaving today, but it happens.
Sure.
All right, so let's go into her secondary ability. It's still going. I just wanted to check it. Her E, which is her secondary ability, is her burst. Yeah, it does decent amount of damage, and it just.
And the knockback, yeah.
So again, primary attack. Or you want to go in there. Let me reduce the cooldown real quick. So I got my E back. Good. Do
Okay,
that
so
kinda combo.
you slide in, burst them up, and then.
Yeah, disengage just like that. So that's one of the things you want to keep in mind as Alona, is that she's a very, she's still pretty mobile. And you know how it said like short range dash? Hell no,
Let's
it's
see,
so
let's,
far.
let's look at the distance.
So let's compare it to the relic. We're just gonna do the middle as like our base of measurement. That's not how you do it, dude. All right, dash in there.
All right, so you made it like just behind that line there.
I just want to get it. Go away. All right, thank you. Oh, a little shorter, but I feel like you could aim it a little bit further.
It's more like you can utilize it differently
Yeah.
too. Yeah. I mean, it seems a lot quicker too.
It's very fast.
Yeah, it's very
extremely
fast,
and it
yeah.
keeps her completely invulnerable. So again, there's a little bit of changes here from a couple of weeks ago into this build. So see that how it's like significantly further?
Yeah,
It depends on where
yeah.
the cursor is.
Oh, okay. So it's more of like it actually can. The distance of it depends a lot on like kind of how you use it.
Exactly.
Oh, all right. There you go. Because I said that second one you did was definitely longer than the
Yeah.
relic throw, but the first one was not.
Yeah, it was very short.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
So the final skill we didn't go over is just the ulti. Again, very straightforward. We can't really measure how much it does.
It does heal, yeah.
But something to keep in mind is that she has that.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
If the Thorgrim was in trouble, just. Hoo-ah, yeah.
And it's like instant? Like
Yeah.
heals everybody instantly?
Yeah,
Okay.
instantly.
Wow.
There's very little startup on it, and the recovery isn't too bad. Like as soon as she finishes her animation of healing,
She can cast again.
yeah, she's out of there.
Interesting.
So that's Alona in a nutshell. The last thing is her Q. Wherever you target, that green ray is gonna stick, and it's got a pretty good range.
Oh wow, so you can kind of stay out of the fight, but still like manage to heal at the same time.
This far is too far, but getting a little closer, you have to like target. But I can't target unless he's actually damaged. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So you can't really showcase Alona too much. She's very straightforward, but being able to land her skill shots is what's going to keep your team alive and help your opponent or help your team in general.
Cool. We're good.
Yeah, she's extremely straightforward. She's very easy to pick up. I don't know why it says difficulty 3, followed by